All right. It is one of the moments that you all have been waiting for. Welcome to the upper bracket second semi-finals of the gold bracket. This is the 2-seeded Osse versus the number 3-seeded Nitro. Winner goes on to take on Eddie in the upper bracket finals. Loser heads into the lower bracket. I am WXFan21, joined alongside with the one, the only, the Derp. Derp, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited for this race. Obviously, both of these runners very well known. You know, the narrative of Osse being the logic developer, knowing everything inside and out, and Nitro being far and away the best pauser in the tournament. There's a nice early morph, by the way, just in our starting room.
Oh, no Nev demorph for the fans.
Goodness. But as I was saying, I actually think this is really interesting because I would argue that these two runners are the two best decision makers. Like, I think you can boil down really any kind of randomizer at a competitive level to a series of, 60-40, 70-30 decisions. And I think these two players in Map Rando are the two best at picking the correct decision. So I'm really excited to see how they play this one.
Absolutely, this is going to be great. We start off in Big Bean's room, Big Pink.
Did not see what all was here. Neither runner actually grabbed the top middle item in Big Pink. Just went to check that door, see if they could get to the map. I believe that was towards the bottom right. I didn't get a good look at the map when Osse paused, though. So hopefully I'm right. Oh, closer to top right. Looks like we've got some divergence, though. Osse kept going down, and now Nitro is off somewhere else. Of course, this is Varia plus movement, starting with Ice, High Jump, Spring Ball, and Grapple Beam. Vetoes were Nitro being the first man, banning no objectives, and Osse banning double suit, so potentially have a Metroid seed queued up for us. Should be fun if this series goes the distance, or potentially if Nitro wants to pick it in game 2, but I seriously doubt that will be the case.
Metroids would be great. Now, Nitro finds Aqueduct. Osse's found Baby Skip Room. Osse out to a tiny lead purely based on that super missile found.
Yeah, it's hard to say since both runners went opposite directions. It really depends on if Nitro is able to find some reachable X's somewhere else here in Criteria. Osse did have to go through Baby Metroid room to get those supers, so was a little bit low and almost got face planted by a side hopper. That was scary.
Very
I need to farm up some health here.
Aqueduct with an X and a tank. A tank could come in handy, but Nitro is not going to get it right now.
Yeah, unfortunately not accessible. There was a major up here to the top left of Aqueduct, so Nitro is going to go ahead and get that. See it right there on the map. If this is Speed Booster, it could be really good for Nitro, because he could grab those Aqueduct items right away, and then that could put him into a pretty sizable lead. It is bombs, which aren't bad.
No, we have no explosives yet, so that's the first explosives of the seed, and quite frankly, Derp, it could be the logical explosives we need. We do have a
Osse's
lot
trying
of
to do some cheating here, by the way. Trying to get to this Norfair map, which is under the Powerbomb Bridge. A little bit of trouble getting these positioned correctly, though.
Leave it to one of the logic developers.
Alright, so I'm gonna give up on that. We'll see if he wants to go back to that. I would assume not. He's okay.
Osse almost got smacked upside the back of Samus's head.
we find another new area here in Brinstar. We can get through this pre-Baltoon hallway with the high jump ice. Nitro, meanwhile, down a sandpit, sees a tank and did not want to go for it. Be pretty slow to grab. Might have been just a reserve as well, I did not see. But here's some X's for Nitro. We'll see if these pay off.
Power bombs.
There's one.
Huge.
Osse taking some damage on the spikes while he has grapple, but gets a tank anyways. He's all right. Yeah, it is really interesting to see. Again, I didn't get a great look at the criteria map for Nitro, but we'll see if staying in criteria this long and being a lot more thorough in the starting area is going to pay off for Nitro.
I personally think we've seen bombs, we've seen power bombs. I think criteria is the logic. I mean, here we can see the map again. And not only is it a hub, but we see a lot of either very lengthy rooms side to side or top down. It just creates for a little bit in the back of your mind as a racer. Am I going the right way?
Yeah, it's... Oh, Osse almost got it, actually. But yeah, it's a little bit awkward. Criteria actually had a Ridley, too, so runners are going to have to go back for that. Nitro's actually going to get to go straight to the map here. Entered the area with power bombs. Looks like Osse's got this tech, though, but didn't quite build up enough run speed. Or falling speed, excuse me. You can see the reward down here, though.
Pancakes.
Yeah, not only is the map down here, but there's a gravity suit that Osse will be able to grab out of Logic. And using those super missiles, he can actually get to the map. Nitro does not have those yet.
When has Logic ever stopped Osse?
I mean, you gotta know... Once you know the Logic well enough, you can really start breaking it. In that case, Osse knowing that getting that map there would have been super valuable. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do it without those power bombs, so it's going to have to go back to criteria, and that's kind of just going to put Nitro in the lead because Osse's going to have to come back. So we find Fantoon with 15 missiles for Nitro. Not the most comfortable, but it'll work. Tight gate glitch here. Nice last try. We're good. But yeah, I think Nitro is just in a pretty comfortable lead at this point. Doesn't have those supers yet, but once he gets the Norfair map, he'll know where to go to get them, and then it should be straightforward from there what the seed wants us to do.
It wants us all to get a game 3 and then go take a nap.
It'll be a bit late for a nap at that point, at least on the East Coast.
It'll be more just time for bed.
Getting some extra sleep has never hurt anyone.
Yeah, absolutely not. I did not get much for last night. Question in chat, how am I feeling? Much better. You can still hear kind of some of the congestion in my voice, but I feel a heck of a lot better, like I'm back to normal. I really just like between the allergies and the congestion from the remnants of the sinus infection to go the bleep away. I got out to my car yesterday, Dirk. Pollen.
Yeah.
Just a light sheet of pollen all over the car. Would anybody like some pollen? I will give it to you. I will sweep it up in a dustpan. I will send it in the mail. Get it away from me. I'll give it to you for free. You don't have to pay for it.
Alright, so we see a Mother Brain here in Norfair, and then a couple portals out. We saw that Bryn portal up in the top of Green Brinstar Elevator. Also a wrecked ship if you fall all the way down. Also one major, it looked like.
Just one.
So Nitro first gonna go back and get those X's, go through the big Metroid room. Gonna probably face the same situation as Osse did.
Yeah, there were a lot of ammo checks if I looked at Nitro's map correctly.
Well, the supers aren't too far away. They're just through, if I remember correctly, they're in the Green Hill tube, where those missiles are normally.
That sounds right.
I think that was all that Osse could do. Nitro can do a little bit more if he wants, but we'll see how much he actually wants to do. The other X's in that area are pretty far away.
Yeah. So, for those
Turian
that
and
are
Criteria as
just
well.
yeah, so for those just watching this tournament, Osse was the runner-up in the inaugural tournament, losing to Zeb in a true best of 5. And that was absolutely insane. And now Osse is looking to hopefully go from second place to first place here. And one of these two amazing racers here, again, Osse the 2 seed, Nitro the 3 seed, one of them is going to fall to the lower bracket.
If I'm not mistaken, the winner will be locking in top 3 for the tournament overall. The lowest they could finish then is in the losers finals.
It sounds about right.
Looks like Osse's finally making its way to those power bombs. I don't know if this is the pack that Nitro grabbed though. So I wonder if this ends up being a power. Okay, it is.
Ooh, that's big.
Yep, so Osse can start playing the seed again.
Osse, 10 minutes in, feel free to play the seed.
Yep. Nitro, meanwhile, finally grabbing those supers that Osse grabbed all the way at the start. So we've kind of even out in terms of items, but unfortunately, the position seems to be favoring Nitro quite a bit. And if Osse is continuing away from Norfair, is going to try to go into like Meridia or Turian, he might not be getting the gravity suit for a while.
That's true. We'll see what Osse wants to do again, being one of the guys that helped develop this randomizer and the logic behind this too. We've said it time and time again here, at least my co-com still at this tournament have. Nice baby skip from Nitro, by the way. But we've said it time and time again, if you know advanced level tricks and you sometimes just go away from what the logic of the seed is telling you to do, it could very well come back to bite you.
It's kind of interesting from Nitro actually bailing on Norfair, going to head back up to Criteria to one of these areas up here, either Turian or Meridia. It's actually going to be really good for Nitro, especially if he goes to Meridia where Osse is, because then he's just doing the same things as Osse, but with that gravity suit advantage.
Yep.
Which, as you can see, Osse is in a very slow room right now without the gravity.
Osse just got Spazer. I said it the other day, Derp. I said that Spazer is like the validation for Super Metroid. Like, if you get Spazer after Plasma, seed is validated. Where in Metroid Prime, if you get Flamethrower, we call it a valid seed. But now we just call it the validation beam, which is what I think we should call it, other than chat's favorite beam. But, by the way, chat, what is up with you all? You all are uncharacteristically quiet. Wake up. Or I start boosting my volume to 400%. Don't make me do it, because you know I will. Ooh, nice crate. And crate guarding.
Crate, a couple majors, a few X's. I didn't see if that major was speed locked. It was in Main Street. I didn't see if it was the speed locked one or the other one. Fortunately, another room that Osse is going to have a lot more difficulty navigating than Nitro is. I see Nitro is flying through this V2Nitro tank.
Pancakes.
Map is all the way to the left.
I wonder if this major behind Crate is either charge or...
Could be. We'll get to see in just a second. Osse's actually coming up on it. I thought it was in Main Street, but it was actually just nearby. Get another good look at the map for Nitro. Gotta be quick though. Nitro is a very good pauser.
I didn't even see the Firefly major. Oh,
okay,
that gets speed.
Well, that's really good. Really good for both runners, honestly. It might honestly be better for Nitro, given he's got the gravity, can run through some of these. watery
One of the
rooms.
other things, yeah. One of the other things I said about Spacer Beam that would be really fun to see. Drop, have you ever been to Spiffy's stream? Have you ever seen that dancing crab that he has on his stream?
I don't. I've watched Spiffy a couple times. I'm not the biggest watcher of Twitch, I'm not gonna lie.
That's okay. I think we need to have an emote in chat with that Spacer Beam icon, where the icon is just dancing. Just have the crab dance with the S and have it have some fun. Just saying.
Well, I will leave that to anybody in chat who wants to do something along those lines.
Yeah, that's not me. Alright, so here we go. This is the major now that's going to be
It's just
behind.
bailing on the major.
Osse. Osse, free major! What are you doing?
He's not...
Osse?
It was accessible, right? Like, it was just behind
very
crate?
accessible. I mean, you have Spring Ball, you've got bombs. Did Osse not see the major?
He may not have, or he may have seen it, but he thought the same thing that I thought. It was in Main Street, so he thought it might have been Speedlock. Like, he thinks it's this major.
See,
but yeah, he's gonna realize it's behind crate.
Oh, there's the realization, and it's plasma. Again, chat, I apologize for my not normal voice. You can hear the congestion, but still, plasma beam, best beam. Get wrecked, Spacer lovers.
And for Osse, he can't afford to leave that behind, so he's got to go all the way back up the slow way with no gravity, climbing back up Main Street. And you see Nitro entered Meridia like a full minute after, but just with that gravity suit is taking a pretty commanding lead. I guess Osse can check it. There's a good chance he just bailed on Plasma. It's just not worth the extra time investment.
No, not at all.
Like, you don't have charge yet. It's very possible that this seed could be an ammo seed, even though there are a lot of X's in this area that aren't super great to get. I see my my Discord lagging out every once in a while, so hopefully I'm coming across all right.
You're fine on my end. But, yeah, Osse's going back for Plasma.
Okay. Yeah, he actually has to go back this way to get Plasma. He couldn't go from the top. Yeah, Nitro is going to get some of these X's over here. At least this one right here. I think there's 2 more after this.
Nice soup.
Which I guess if you're coming all the way down here, you probably want to grab everything. Nitro's got plenty of energy. Or, well, hold on.
Oh, Nitro kick. Thank you.
Okay, he's fine.
Stop playing around with the Key Hunter and make with the going through the seed. Yeah, would have loved to see more supers than that.
Oh, there were 4 X's over here, sorry.
So many.
Yeah, this makes sense that Nitro wanted to go for it.
Oh.
Gonna be a full 50-50 split on supers and power bombs, though. A little bit unlucky, but 15 supers is nice to have for sure.
Yep, Osse now has the cold French fry beam. Nitro's got the cold French fries.
Nitro gonna be nice and careful with that plasma beam. Getting through those key hunters with the iframes.
Absolutely.
There's actually a health refill right above him if he wants to take that before leaving Meridia. Nice little spot right there.
He don't need
or
no
not
stinking refill.
There are more spots to refill. He's actually leaving through V2Nitro tank, so he can farm the bugs there as well.
I mean, he could. I don't think he will.
He would. I probably would. Yeah, he's gonna farm at least a little bit. Yeah, not quite farming to full, but just spending a couple seconds, killing a couple rotations of bugs. Also, he's also going to go for these majors. The key hunters will hit for a lot more than they hit Nitro, so he's got to be a lot more careful than Nitro was. All right, nicely done. I think we saw Osse grab this. I believe it's another powerbomb. Yeah. So Nitro probably not too happy about how these X's are shaking up. The good news is, again, Osse's doing the same thing, but without that gravity and that Fantoon kill from Norfair.
Yeah.
So that has slowed Osse down so much, and now Nitro's just in a pretty commanding lead. Actually, this is another powerbomb. I didn't see where Nitro got his first pack, but it's kind of unlucky. 1525. Remember, there are 70 supers and 50 powerbombs in the pool. Or 70 supers and 50 powerbombs. I think I said it backwards. But regardless, I expect Nitro to be heading over to Turian. You can technically fight Ridley now. It's doable with this ammo. It's not comfortable. But maybe... Well, no, Nitro doesn't know. Or doesn't feel like he has to, because he knows where Mother Brain is, so he knows the game's not going to end in Turian, so... He can do Ridley on the way back to Norfair. Also needs to be a bit careful. Did a nice little Shine Spark to get through V2Nitro quickly, but it brought him very low, so I'm going to have to farm quite a bit.
Irregardless of what IH8 California says in chat, we got ourselves a pretty decent Nitro lead here. Osse could benefit this based upon getting those pancakes on the way out. IH8, there you go. I used the word, you said that wasn't a word.
Well, extremely villainous behavior from WXFan21.
Bite me.
Like, Nitro is headed down to Turian as expected. Actually has to fight Spore Spawn to get through to Ridley, it looks like. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, someone mentioned earlier, in all seriousness, that Spore Spawn was blocking Ridley, which would be fun. Chat does enjoy themselves a good Spore Spawn fight.
I was muted and yapping, but fortunately, nothing I said mattered. I was saying that we'll see what's in Turian. It looks like the answer is not anything.
Womp womp.
Yeah. I think this X is the only thing of value. There's a few tanks, but no majors.
That's
and
definitely
no
valuable.
yeah, it's gonna make the Ridley coming up a lot nicer.
Can I get a bonk in chat? 'Cause that's exactly what Nitro just did.
The room is so annoying to move through with speed. Just because of the lava, it slows you down. Fall in the lava, and then you're just moving at 1 mile an hour, wading
Nice
through
high,
molasses.
yeah. High five. Hello, Spore Spawn.
Osse definitely having the worst end of the high five, watching Nitro fly by with gravity. Osse's like, where did you get that? I do think Nitro may want to be careful with how many supers he uses, just because there's a Ridley coming up right after this, and Spore Spawn can be a little bit troll with the drops. Okay. That works out. We'll see if the drops are nice. They're alright. Would be worse. But now it's on for the real fight. Alright, so Nitro, just opening up with the missiles and supers, wants to get Ridley down to... or wants to get his supers down to 15 and then use power bombs until he sees Ridley's color change. So once he sees the color change, he'll know that the fight is 15 supers away from finishing. I didn't see exactly how much ammo he entered the fight with. It looked like he missed a super and hasn't double hit all the power bombs, but he definitely came in with more than enough ammo. So probably needs to hit like 4 or 5 more power bombs, if I had to guess. Or double hit 4 or 5 more, I should say.
I have no clue.
No, it was
Thank
actually
you, chat, for huming me with the block, by the way.
it was actually less than that. Only needed about 8 power bombs. Not too bad. Ridley is not cooperating now. There we go. I didn't see if there was anything behind Ridley, but looks like Nitro did and knows the answer is nothing. So just gonna head back to Norfair. We've got a 50-50 to where the last boss is. It's either in Brinstar or in Wreck Ship. Could actually head to Bryn here at the bottom left of Big Pink down towards Waterway. So we see another Ridley fight. Osse gonna open the fight a little bit differently, actually gonna go for these power bombs right out of the gate. I think this is the more common strat you'll see people do, because it's pretty easy at the beginning of the fight to get Ridley into this pattern where he kind of just stays in the center of the room. So you can keep double hitting those power bombs easier. Where, again, Nitro had to struggle a little bit to get Ridley in the right position. A few of those power bombs single hit as a result. Unfortunately for Osse, Ridley is still not cooperating.
Oh, Ridley. Stupid space pelican chicken gimmick.
Seemed like that was a rare long pause for Nitro there. I felt like he was just thinking for a while. Not too bad of a Ridley fight for Osse. The runners are likely both heading to Bryn. Osse doesn't know where Mother Brain or Fantoon are, so we'll see how this goes. Also needs to do a little bit more of a fancy strat to get out of Fish Tank. Could have technically done some spring ball jumps, but instead going to go for this gravity jump. It's a little bit tricky. Need to essentially do a turnaround right after jumping, because you're going to hit this little ledge that Osse did. There we go. And this is much closer to the map than the last Brinstar entrance was. It's a water map? I can't really tell. Looks like it is, and it looks like it's on the other end of West Ocean. To answer a question from chat, the only major that really helps is charge. Nitro is kind of planning on around not finding charge and just hunting for ammo. You can see he already has 25 supers. Only needs 1 missile, 1 super from here. Not totally sure what he's farming up now for. Maybe worried about a Botwoon fight? Yeah, I wonder what
commentary and tracking team. I'm ordering ice cream. Can I get you all anything? Oh crap, my mic is on. Damn it, chat wasn't supposed to hear that.
Well, I'm boring. I always get the strawberry cone.
There you go. That sounds good. Can we get a shout out to Lopter in chat, please, for doing a fantastic job tracking?
Nitro finding the 30th power bomb and the 35th power bomb.
30 PBs. That's ridiculous.
Meanwhile, Osse has finally made it down here. He's going to get that gravity suit and not going to be happy about it. So close to getting that out of logic, but unfortunately didn't quite get the clip. Oh, we see Dragon. There's a major on the way. There's a nice farm right before. There's a few X's, so they are pretty far. We'll see how much Nitro wants to grab. Nitro can also farm the rippers here in the gate glitch room. See if Nitro wanted to farm that a few times. That was technically open to it. Alright, if this major is charged, then Nitro is just cruising. Unfortunately, we are not so lucky.
Dragon fight.
Not going to be a very difficult Dre fight with the...
Oh no, not at all.
Nitro having more trouble just getting up to the fight.
I was just gonna say Nitro struggling to get to the Dragon fight.
There we go. We got there. Yeah, I didn't see what all was behind the Dre. There were a lot of X's on the left side of Bryn. I don't know how many of them are accessible from here, though. Doing a nice little spark to open up the fight. Probably just going to try to get the grapple kill from here. Of course, Dragon is being a nuisance and swooping a million times.
Also, Sorvine and Lopter, my wife agrees with both of you, by the way. She ordered cookie dough ice cream. Just saying. Just saying. I decided to get something called Purple Cow.
It looks like Nitro's checking to see what all was on the path to Mother Brain. There was a double X there at the high jump, or the pre-high jump room, as well as a missile refill, actually. So, I think Nitro's just going to bail from here.
Yeah,
Nothing more to be done.
I want at least, like, one more missile pack, and definitely, I mean, we still need one more super pack.
Nitro might not have seen the missile refill, actually. So he's going to do some farming here. Of course, he can waste a lot of time, given his position. Osse is positionally behind, has not seen Dre yet, and is in the right area, but is still pretty far away on ammo. Only 10 missiles compared to Nitro's 40.
Very much so. I mean, was Osse really counting on charge beam?
Actually, a portal. There's a portal to Norfair on the way down, down the Edikun crumble blocks, the Edikun tank blocks.
We are being raided by some friends here, bro. What's up, Nevdi? What's up, Eddie? Welcome in.
Oh man. Welcome in, Raiders. We're seeing
welcome.
Interesting Seed 1. Nitro is in a pretty dominant position at the moment, although is kind of struggling to finish it out. Just a little bit of ammo away and keeps running into power bombs. Looks like Nitro does see that faster route that I was mentioning, though. Down, back to Norfair, to where Mother Brain is.
I just want to point out, we have a Varia plus movement seed that is 34 minutes in, and Nitro is one super pack away from Gumbo. Very much a jet seed.
Osse actually blinded into the Dragon. That's kind of funny. He knows where Mother Brain is, so he can actually just bail on Bryn from here. Isn't gonna go out of his way for all these power bombs that Nitro kept hitting, because I think there were 3 packs. Nitro entered the area with 25-25, skipped a couple power bombs, left with 25-30.
Nitro's just in such a good spot right now. Remember, this was Osse's pick, Derp. Just saying. And this being Osse's pick, the biggest thing for him was wasting some time with Plasma, and then wasting trying to get through the green tower powerbomb block without PBs, which isn't so much a waste, but might in fact be the difference here in this race. Nitro's gonna make his way up here. Again, still needs 1 more super pack. We know these are 2. 1 tank, and, well, there's the safety missile I was talking about earlier. Derp tried to step out. Derp's currently picking up comms and tracking his ice cream. More missiles for Osse. Oh, I've
actually just been muting because I've been lagging a little bit.
There you go. Go mode Nitro.
I was just saying that we saw Nitro pick up Space Jump just a second ago. If that was charge, Osse would actually be surprisingly close. That charge would have put him in go mode.
Do we know what that major is there in Warfare? Has anyone peeked it?
It was Space Jump. We just saw Nitro grab it. Although honestly, the double super there at pre-high jump also means Osse's pretty close, because that is technically enough. 15-35. Technically get up to 20-35, getting the missile from this room. And Osse's not even going to check the major, so... Despite all of the shambles that Osse was in, this is surprisingly close. Just off of the power of blinding that Dre. And not going for all those power bombs that Nitro got unlucky with. Of course, the early game routing was still too good for Nitro. Getting those power bombs, so being able to go down the powerbomb bridge at Green Elevator, getting the gravity, getting the Fantoon, and the Mother Brain knowledge. It was all very powerful for Nitro. And while Osse has brought it back surprisingly close, it is still a pretty commanding lead for Nitro. Nitro's got a comfy 30-30, again with 5 whole supers. I don't think we'll see him miss more than 1. I'd be surprised if he misses 1.
Yep. That's right, chat. It's time for the escape time, I guess. Get those guesses in the Twitch chat.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly how the escape is going to work out, because we had to go... Oh my goodness, Nitro gets triple hit by the ketchup. Goodness. That completely countered what I was going to say. I was shocked. Anyways, I'm not totally sure how this escape works out, because we had to go down Green Pirate Shaft to get to Mother Brain.
40 seconds for me.
It's not going to be that long. It is going to be longer.
Ooh, 3 minutes and 30 seconds! I'm sorry, what? Do we gotta travel to Talon 4 and back? Why so long?
That is way longer than I expected. Like, what in the world? Do we have to go into Rick's ship?
Doesn't make any sense.
Hold on, I don't know exactly what the bottom of Norfair looks like, this bottom right area, so... hopefully Nitro does. Alright, we made it back past Mother Brain. Chat saying they have to spark up climb supers, which is lovely. Nitro gonna take a second pause just to make sure. Has to go through GT as well. I did see this earlier. Unfortunately, we don't actually have to fight GT in the escape. Oh my goodness, Osse also almost gets domed by a catch-up there.
Bonk.
Looks like this is a way up for Nitro. I think this is going to lead to those that climb super shaft that chat was mentioning. There it is.
Hello, climb super shaft.
Yeah, and from here it's a lot more straightforward. This just leads us to criteria, essentially, and then criteria is also a little bit awkward because we're all the way at the bottom right, and we need to go to the top right. But it's not too far of a trek. This is a very generous timer, but I guess it had to be. I wonder if it's faster to go up the middle of Big Pink, like through the Spore Spawn exit. Not a huge deal, obviously. I'm not even sure if it would be faster. I'm just musing.
Oh, we know criteria was a long one.
It's not too bad.
It's not terrible.
This makes sense. For a 3:30 escape, you're probably going to have about a minute left on the timer, and it looks like Nitro's going to finish with very close to that.
Yep. A close race, but some missteps by Osse.
Speaking of misstep.
Well, again,
Actually went the wrong way.
Plasma. Going back for Plasma, I think, cost him, what, 2 minutes? Gravity suit?
I think Osse...
I don't blame him.
Like, Osse lost more than 2 minutes in that early game situation, but
Yeah.
was able to make up a lot of time with that blind Dre and a little bit better end game movement. But Nitro is going to take it for game 1 with an official time of we don't know because the race time room is not working.
Oh, great.
But mark it as first.
Oh my goodness, they're still marked as ready. Alright, who in chat can I blame, Derp? Let's see. Who can I blame in chat? Let's see.
It's got to be
No,
Nevdi, right? He's still here.
I mean, it's definitely not Lopter. Oh, there it is. I blame Beans.
Yeah, again, Osse not too far behind. Going to be about 2 minutes, like you said.
Yeah, it's about 2 minutes. I mean, again, going back for Plasma makes a lot of sense. Alright, it's definitely not Beans' fault. So, for those that didn't get a chance to follow along with Path's game earlier, their race time itself was apparently having some issues today. So, Osse had to force start in the race room with him and Nitro. I gate kept. Me leaving didn't trigger a start. We really couldn't figure it out. If anyone else, like, if you've played in a race today, I'm not sure if you all have had the same experience, but race time wasn't shutting down. So, like, Nitro's done, it still shows him as ready. Never sent him to in progress. So go figure. I also like how Osse's just casually having himself a drink. Just have a little water.
The race is over. Just finish it out and get a nice escape in. Osse getting about a 42.30, it looked like. So Nitro finishing at around 42.15. Or Osse 44.30, I should say. So 2 minutes, 15 seconds. I think you're mentioning that going back for Plasma. I don't think that was 2 full minutes. So it probably still would have been around 30 seconds advantage for Nitro, which is a lot less than you'd expect with how much of a commanding lead he had coming out of Meridia.
Oh, yeah.
But
it goes to show, Derp, what you were saying. Osse's late game movement did allow him to really pick up the pace, but it wasn't enough.